This is my computer, codename Xenomorph. I've had this computer for roughly 2 years now, and it's housed inside of a Raidmax Viper GX II. And if we go over here, I actually have my stuff up here on Specky as my kitty cat rings his little bell. So here's what I'm running right now. Currently I'm booted into Windows 10 Pro, although I do dual boot Linux on this thing. I have a Intel Core i5-4460, 3.20 gigahertz Haswell. I'm running a 4 sticks of DDR3 memory, which is 16 gig in total. That's 4 sticks of Corsair Vengeance RAM. I have a motherboard here, Gigabyte motherboard, H97D3H. I'm running integrated Intel graphics, which actually do the job for most of the games I play. Although I will be remedying that here soon. I'm going to be getting a graphics card here in the next few months. So my primary hard drive is the solid state drive that I run. It's a 250, even though you don't see some of that because, you know, again, dual booting Linux and all that. Then I have a 1 terabyte Seagate hard drive and a 1 terabyte Western Digital hard drive. I also have a HP DVD writer, which is hidden behind this nifty little door on my computer case. And yeah, it runs pretty well. My monitor, if you're wondering about that, is that's a 24GM77. It's from LG. It's a TN panel, but it looks beautiful actually. For a TN panel monitor, this thing does its job very, very well. Let's look at my mouse, my keyboard. This is a Cooler Master Octane mouse and keyboard combination. Funny thing is on the camera, this almost looks orange, and this fan here on the computer looks orange. Well, this actually is orange. This is actually red. So is that. So, yeah, no color matching really, not currently, but that would be remedied here soon. And I do like this fan. It looks really nice, especially at night. Doesn't look too great in the day, but once you see the sucker at night, it looks beautiful. In fact, I actually have a little video snippet of that, which I'm going to splice here in a second. Look at my computer. Well, as far as you can see it, because I do not have a light source on this device. I'm recording from my tablet. But the pretty orange light on my fan is really awesome, ain't it? It certainly does look better when it's dark than when it's light. So, there you go. Yeah, it looks really cool at night. Anyhow, yeah, I've had this computer for roughly 2 years, and unfortunately, it's time for a change. You know, first thing I'm going to do is actually replace this case, because even though this case is still going to be used and I'm going to hand it down, I'm going to replace the case first, and I'm going to replace each and every part as soon as I get them, because AMD Ryzen is coming out here. And I'm going to go build myself a Ryzen build, and if you hear jingling in the background, that is my cat. He likes jingling his little bell. But anyhow, yeah, I'm going to go switch from Intel to AMD. This is actually my second build, and my first build was actually AMD. My second build is this one, which is an Intel build, and I'm going to go back to AMD because of Ryzen. I actually built this computer more or less because of necessity, because my old AMD build was actually dying, and you know, no longer have any of the parts for that one except for maybe one of the hard drives in here. I think the optical drive came from that, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, in a minute I'm gonna power this off. I'm gonna open her up, and we're going to go take a look on the inside of this sucker and see what makes her tick as my kitty cat meows at me. Hold on a second. Okay, I pulled the side panel off, and here's my hardware. As you can tell, I'm using the integrated Intel stock cooler. That really is not a problem because the temperatures on this case are pretty good. There's the motherboard model number, which is a G3 H97D3H, as pointed out. There's my 650 watt Seasonic power supply, 80 plus gold. I realize that's fully overkill right now, but I will be putting a graphics card in this machine here soon. Anyhow, a couple things I want to point out is the side panel. This case has a really cool side panel. It's tinted orange right there, and has these this nice design here. This is really strong, very strong, and the side panels come off really easy with these plastic handles on here. Just have to pull it straight off, and boom, there it is. So managing this case is very easy to work with. But yeah, there's my hard drives, and even though I can't see it right there, my solid state drive is right there, even though it's in complete darkness for now. And you may or may not know, but there's my cables, because I suck at cable management. Actually, believe it or not, the cable management in this case is pretty good. It's actually quite fantastic. I just really suck at cable management. Here, let me get that side panel since it's decided to slide down a little bit. So, yeah, lay that down there. And here's a couple of cool things about this case that I like. First is this. This is a rubberized cover for a feature on the front of the case. Has this, which is rubberized cover, and here's another rubberized cover. This is for the USB, and the other ones are for audio jacks. And finally, here's this. This is a rubberized cover for the PCI Express slot. So this case does have removable dust cover, removable PCI Express covers that you can put in and take out and not be a problem. These are not one of those little stupid punch-out ones. This is something you could actually use all the time, to store these away. And if you don't need your graphics card anymore, and say if you get a new setup and you can't afford a new graphics card or whatever, and you don't want that empty spot, being there, you have these. So replaceable, which is very nice. And there's my kitty cat, who may or may not give his own opinions on this thing. But anyhow, take it to the front. Case, but like I said, that little front cover thing, this thing was protecting this little slot. You can't see that very well here, but that is a solid state drive slot. You could pop a solid state drive in there, and it acts like a hot swap bay, which is very nice indeed. The front of the case has these orange accents all over the place. And you can see 2 USB 3 ports and audio jacks. These are reversible, by the way. You could use these any way you want. So you want to put your headphone in here, you could put your headphone in here. If you want to put your headphone in here, you can put your headphone in here. Put your microphone in here. Same thing. Very nice. And like I said, these actually came with little dust protectors. These would go inside, the audio, and help protect the audio jacks, like so. And same thing with the USB covers. Again, this is a really cool feature. I wish more cases came with this idea, and they give you 2 each, one for each port on the top of the case, which is very nice. In terms of design, I really like the design of this case. It looks menacing. In fact, that's why I call this computer xenomorph. It looks like a alien from the movie Aliens. also, by the way, rest in peace, Bill Paxton. You will be missed very hard. Anyhow, yeah, I like the, angle, rigid thing that this has. It's supposed to resemble a snake, but I think it resembles more like a space alien, Like I said, xenomorph is a very appropriate name for this build. So anyhow, I'm going to sit down, and yeah, I do like this case a lot. It's got these little rubberized things back here, right there, for routing a external water cooling, which is very nice for people who like that sort of thing. And yeah, pretty much full-featured case. The features on this case are actually pretty heavy. For a $54 case, this is not a bad buy. But again, this is the first thing I'm going to be replacing, and I'm going to try to replace each and every part, almost each and every month. So this month I'm replacing the case. Next month I'm going to get a graphics card. Month after that I'm going to go see what I can do. And might take me 1 or 2 or 3 more months to get the rest of the build together. But I do have videos planned for that, because I'm planning on reviewing Steam controller and my mouse and keyboard combo. So there will be a video each and every month until I get this thing together, because I do want to make a build vlog. But yeah, I like this case a lot, and I'm going to go give you the grand tour of it here in a minute. So, first thing we're going to give you the grand tour of is, well, first I got to point out that here's the power button, here's the reset, and I'm going to go take off the top cover here. Now this can be a little bit finicky to do, and I think I knocked over my panel there, and there we go. There's the top of my case, all exposed. There's the front solid state drive and port. Got the lights, indicator lights, power, and then hard drive indicator. Very nice, red and green. And again, there's just the exposed audio jacks and exposed USB. All this is modular, so you could actually take all of these off. You could actually take this case completely apart and wipe it all down, which is very nice. Now on the top, I have these two 120mm fans from Thermaltake. They don't actually manufacture these anymore, but these do the job very well. These did not come with the case. These came from my previous build, one of the few parts remaining from that previous build. These work very, very well. They're not silent optimized at all. There's no, sound dampening or anything like that on this case or on these fans. So, but audio-wise, I actually barely hear this machine. I actually hear the fan next to me more, which is what you're hearing in the background sometimes, is I have a little fan that I use to keep myself cool, because I have a rather small room and it gets very warm, especially with having a computer in your room. And I'm going to sit down so I can show you one of the few problems with this case. So this front panel does not come off easy, at least at first. What you have to do is you have to open it up, okay, and then you have to unhook the optical drive, okay, and then you have to take out the optical drive. So there's a little latch right there. These are toolless. There's a little latch inside there, which you can see right there. That's a little latch. You press that in, releases the optical drive, and you just slide that out. But yeah, when you put the optical drive in this case, it kind of locks the front cover in place, and very, very, very annoying feature there. Quite annoying. And, you know, now I can actually take off the front panel. But the other problem is that this front panel can be very, very problematic to take off. And I'll be taking off the front panel here in a minute, but I'm going to have to do that off camera because, well, like I said, that is a pain in the butt to do. So I'll be with you in a second. Okay, I pulled the front panel off. Again, that can be very hard to do. I first have to pull it from the bottom and sort of pull it from the top and have to do that with both hands. I mean, once you actually have two hands to work with, this is actually quite easy to work with, but doing it with one hand, next to impossible. Anyhow, I have the front fascia here. And I took the door off so we can actually see the cool design going on the inside. The door, this had the door going on there. It's right here. And like I said, it has these orange accents on it. You could actually remove those, by the way. These little clips. You could take out all those clips. And if you didn't like the orange on these, you could remove those clips. Take them outside, put some primer, put some paint on them. And you can make them whatever the heck color you want. So don't like orange, go blue, red, green, silver, whatever the heck. I thought about recoloring this silver myself, but I never got around to it. But yeah, you can actually remove this door, which is very cool. And it hooks on to the front here with these little hooks. As you can see, the hooks right there. Well, yeah, I really like the front fascia on this case. You know, it's plastic, but it looks really, really cool. You know, with that little aggressive design. But there is a little bit of a problem with the front fascia. And what's one of the cons of the case is, well, that. It's got this mesh in front of it, and this is a very, very poor dust filter. Calling this a dust filter is kind of like a joke. This thing pulls in a lot of dust and a lot of dirt from the outside world, and it doesn't take long for this case to get dusty and dirty because of the front intake fan pulling on all that dusty air and not having very much filtering. In fact, the top of the case has no filtering for that sort of thing. There's no dust filtering whatsoever on the top, on the front, or on the back, although, you know, there's no case that I'm aware of that has a back air filter. But one place where it does have an air filter, and I'll be showing that off here in a minute, is the power supply. Yeah, there actually is a power supply intake cover thing going on here, and I'll be showing that off here in a minute. But, here, let me turn the case on its side so we could show you that off as we look at some of my room and what I'm going to be replacing this case with. And anyhow, I'd like to show you one of these. Yeah, I have two of these. These are the only dust filters on the whole case. You have this one here, which attaches to the bottom basement here. And if you had a bottom-mounted fan there, that would protect it. And the same thing goes here for the power supply. So you just have these little clips. See if we can get this one out too. Yep, there we go. Here's the other dust filter for the power supply. And only dust filtering on the whole case. Yay! And yeah, this thing is not really good with dust. Not really good with dust at all. I mean, build quality. Build quality with this case is actually fantastic. It's very solid metal all around. Even the bottom where it's perforated for the airflow for the bottom case fan and the power supply. That's rock solid. Everything here is, you know, there's no give here, you know. Even the parts where you think you're going to get some flex, you don't, you know. Raidmax did a fantastic job engineering this case with very thick metals. You know, there's nothing flimsy about this case. You know, even the case feet, even though they're mostly plastic here, have these nice little rubberized bottoms, and it's pretty far off the ground, so if you put this on the floor, you should be able to keep everything going, you know. But, yeah, overall, in terms of engineering, this case is fantastic, you know. Raidmax did a very good job at manufacturing this case, with a very solid steel construction with a few plastic bits here and there, but, you know, even plastic bits are pretty good. In fact, the only thing I really broke was the top cover, but that's because of inexperience rather than build quality, because if you can't see that, yeah, I kind of broke the top, but that was my fault. I'm not blaming Raidmax for that, because they actually engineered this top cover very well. It's very solid plastic, you know, despite my little screw up there. I'm not going to complain, because overall that top cover is still intact except for that one little break. And like I said, that was mainly from like the second time I worked with this case, because I was trying to pop the top panel off, and I just used the wrong kind of force. I didn't know I had to pull it a certain way. So like I said, it was more towards inexperience rather than build quality, because otherwise the case overall is very good. So any flaws are actually more my fault, including cable management, which you can see. My cable management really sucks. Again, not the fault of the case. I just really suck at that sort of thing. I'm gonna get better. But yeah, my cable management leaves a lot to be desired. Anyhow, I'm gonna go flip this thing back to the way it's supposed to, and I'm gonna show you the back part of the motherboard tray. So give me a second. Okay, well, here's the back panel, and it's very similar to the front other panel. You know, has that nice little divot in it. There's no window there, but hey, it's a part of the computer really don't want to have a window in. Anyhow, pull that out, and there's the back side of the motherboard and all that. And yeah, you can actually sort of see the solid state drive. Hooray! But anyhow, yes, you can see there's actually plenty of cable tie-down points. Plenty of them. I just am really terrible at optimizing it. I'm still learning how to cable manage. This being only my second build. You know, my first build didn't even have cable management tie-down points, and this case does, and I'm still learning my process. But anyhow, I'm going to go show you pretty much the final feature of this case. Here. As you can see, my solid state drive is connected to the back of the thing here. And I'm going to unplug that so I can show you the hard drive rails. Yes, this case uses hard drive rails as a mounting system. It has these little clip-in rails. You just pinch them and slide it out, and boom. Yay. So yeah, you have these little rails. And this rubberized cushioning on the side of them. So I don't hear the hard drives that much. You know, mechanical hard drives, I don't hear them that much because of this system. And yes, the mechanical hard drives have the same system as the solid state drive does here. And yes, it's nice to see the solid state drive in living color now, because you can actually see it now. Hooray! But yeah, feature-wise, like I said, this case is banging. You know, Raidmax really did a great job at giving you an amazing amount of features for a budgetary case. You know, the replaceable PCI Express slots. You know, they gave you all these rubberized coverings. You know, they gave me 2 case fans, one for the front, which is orange, and one for the back, which is plain. You know, these the dust covers for the power supply and all that. So overall, feature-wise, there's not much to complain about in this case. Like I said, the biggest drawback is dust. Dust is the biggest enemy of this build, and that's the biggest drawback. That's the only drawback, really, because otherwise it's a very fantastic case. But again, it's time to make a change. Okay, like I said, the first thing I'm going to be replacing is this case. This case will be cleaned out. I'm going to totally wipe it down. I'm going to remove all the electronic goods, unscrew the power, unscrew this, and unscrewed USBs, and everything in here is going to go. Every wire, every connector is going to go. And I'm going to put them all inside of a box. And I'm just going to wipe this whole inside of this case down. Because of all the accumulation of dust and dirt that has happened over the years. And, I do want to give it a good thorough scrub down. It will be handed off to somebody else. Somebody's inheriting this case, so it's not going to go to waste. I find the case to be too good to throw away. Because even though it has a limitation of using 120mm fans, although I think you can actually use 80mm fans here with these mounting holes, still, you don't have very much high capacity for the fans here, You could mount a radiator up there, which is a very nice feature, but you're limited to a 240mm thing, and I don't think you could put a radiator there. I don't think you could do that, because you got the hard drive cage right there, and that sort of thing is kind of out of the question. So if you're doing 2 radiators, well, you're kind of screwed. But you could do air cooling. There's plenty of space in there for an air cooling unit. Hyper 212 Evo would probably fit in this case like a glove. So, yeah, now that I got everything stripped down and taken out of there, I'm going to take myself over to my bed. And I'm going to remove all the parts from this case, and I'm going to show off the new case. So give me a second. Here it is. I'm going to replace that case with a Fantex Eclipse P400S series. So, yeah, that's what I'm going to replace my current case with. The case is the easiest thing for me to replace, first, and then I'm going to be building up from there. I'm going to do a separate unboxing video on this, so I can take it out of its box here, make sure everything's inside of it, and make sure everything's fine. Because I'm just gonna parcel each and every part out. Replace the case first, get a graphics card, then start buying the rest of the new build I'm gonna be doing. So I'm just gonna put all my parts inside of this case for the time being. So I can still, I'm still going to keep the old case. I'm just going to clean it out really, really heavily so that there's, nothing to really interfere with the machine when I rebuild it again. So, yeah, I'm going to be missing my current case a lot, but I feel, I'm probably going to like this a lot. And like I said, I'll be doing a separate unboxing video of this soon. But anyhow, yeah, hold on a second. The review, though, on the Raidmax Viper GX II, though, if you want my final thoughts on that case after at least 2 years of use, I do like it. It is, I'm going to rate it like 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10, because despite the fact there's no dust filtering, I do like working with this case. It's very easy to work with, with the exception of the front cover. I do like working with this case a lot. And, I'm going to miss it. I'm going to miss it, especially without having the ability to use optical drives. I'm going to just get an external one here, and that's one of the things I'm going to be buying next. But yeah, I'm going to be missing this case a lot, despite the flaws. But yeah, I'm going to unbox that other case here, and like I said, that's going to be an entirely separate video. Anyhow, see you for now for this particular video, and see you around for the next one. So, see you soon. Bye-bye.